Hello, Tidians, and welcome to another exciting edition of our Road Safety Chat with Traffic Desk 2. Now, every weekday, we do post these videos about safety and how we can be safe on our roads. And today's topic, guys, is one of an interesting one because we see a lot of people failing to keep to their lane or maintaining their lane. So today's topic on our road safety chat with TD2 is lane discipline. All right, today I want us to remind each other. Remember, on TD we keep reminding each other, we keep learning every day, and I want us today to remind each other about lane discipline. What is lane discipline? Okay, is there a law that talks about lane discipline? Okay, what are the advantages of lane discipline? Do we have disadvantages of lane discipline? So this is what we are going to look at today on our edition of the Road Safety Chat with TD2. So of course, first things first, would want to know what is lane discipline. Now, lane discipline is when you drive within the confinement of a designated lane. The lane can be barricaded by either a dotted line or a continuous white line. So lane discipline is when you drive within the confinement of a designated lane. Okay, it's very important that every time you are driving, you know which lane to go on drive in. It depends with your speed. It depends also with the vehicle that you are driving or a motorcycle that you're driving. Now, it's interesting to note that lane discipline is not just for drivers. Lane discipline also applies to motorcycle riders. Without prejudice, but most of the motorcycle riders that I have seen on the road don't seem to know lane discipline. They would overtake even on the left side of the road. Now, that is not lane discipline. Lane discipline says you drive within the confinement of your designated lane, and if you are to do any overtaking, you have to do it on the right and not on the left. So it's important that we know what lane discipline is, and also we keep this lane discipline every time that we are driving. Now, let's look at a piece of legislation that guides or provides guidelines to us when we are driving in terms of lane discipline. Allow me, Tidians, to quote what Section 173, subsection 2 of the Road Traffic Act number 11 of 2002. It says, on a dual carriageway, a person driving a slower moving vehicle shall drive on the outer lane of the carriageway, and a fast-moving vehicle shall drive on the inner lane of the carriageway. Now, this, first of all, does not mean that fast you have to go above the posted speed limit. Remember, every road has got a speed limit. On a dual carriageway, if the speed limit, I'll give an example, is 100, and you're driving at 20, according to Section 173, you must maintain the outer lane because you are of a slower speed. And if you are of a higher speed, you must maintain the inner lane, which is the right side of the dual carriageway. Now, this does not mean that you must go above the posted speed sign, because TD2 said, oh, a fast-moving motor vehicle must keep to the inner lane. You have to drive fast, but within the confinement of the law, because every road has got a speed limit. It's important, guys, that if you are slower, you stick to the outer lane, and then if you are faster, you stick to the inner lane, which is a designated lane for fast-moving motor vehicles or even motorcycles. I've seen sometimes when I'm driving on the road and you find this motorcycle rider who is very, very slow is keeping to the inner lane instead of keeping to the outer lane. Now, what that implies is that there's going to be a build-up of traffic, right? Let me explain this. The outer lane is for slower moving motor vehicle. So if I, TD2, is following the law, I'm slow and I keep to the outer lane, and then another person that is slow decides to keep to the inner lane, meaning that we are going to be at par as we are driving. So what is going to happen is that there's going to be a whole lot of traffic that will be piled up because they are not able to pass using the fast moving lane. that also will make other drivers get agitated. It leads to drivers becoming aggressive driver and tailgating. So it's important that every driver knows about lane discipline and you keep to the lane discipline. Lane discipline also is not just about keeping to the outer lane when you are slower. It's also about sticking to your lane when driving. Now, you'll notice some drivers when they are driving on the road, they fail to keep to their lane. They start moving slightly to the left and end up hitting a cyclist or a pedestrian, or they'll start moving slightly to the right and then they end up having a head-on collision with a vehicle that is coming from the other side. So it's important at all times to make sure that when you are driving within the confines of your lane. Now, what are some of the things that makes drivers not drive within the confines of their lane? The first thing is distraction, all right? Take, for example, you are driving and you want to start texting. Because texting and driving, it means that, first of all, your vision is going to be affected. You won't be looking where you are going. You have to look at the phone. And the other hand, meaning that it has to be holding the phone, and the other one might want to start typing and texting. So when you do that, you are going to start shifting from your lane to the other lane without even realizing it. So it's very important that we avoid distractions like texting while it's driving, because we are going to concentrate on the phone, and then before we realize it, our vehicle is not going to be in the lane. It will start moving either slightly to the left or slightly to the right. And then if we do that, it means we have failed to maintain lane discipline. Now, the other aspect in lane discipline is when you want to change the lane. How do you change from the slower moving lane to a faster moving lane, or from a faster moving lane to a slower moving lane? It's important at all times before you change the lane, you use your mirrors. How far is the vehicle in the other lane? Remember, you've got your own lane. Now you want to join another lane where there could be a vehicle in that lane. It's important that you use your mirrors. You check how far is it? How clear is the other lane? Please do not literally cut from one lane to the other. You're going to cause a serious road traffic crash, especially motorcycle riders. I've noticed most of them just literally change from one lane to the other without due care and reasonable consideration to other road users. Now, that is not lane discipline. If you want to change the lane, use your mirrors, indicate, use your turn signal. If the vehicle allows you to change into their lane, then you can. If they don't allow, please don't cut in. Don't force yourself. Let them pass. When it's clear, then you change the lane. That is part of lane discipline. The other type of discipline on the lane is when you are passing, there's a lane which is called a passing lane. I'll give an example. Those that drive along Great North Road, after 10 miles, there's a hill there. So there's an extra lane on the left, which is meant for slower moving motor vehicles to allow other fast moving motor vehicles that can go on that hill at higher speed to go ahead. So now, when you want to join back into the main lane from the passing lane on that hill, please remember you don't have the right to the other lane. You need to wait and make sure it's clear, then you join. Don't just cut from that passing lane into the other lane. You're going to cause a road traffic crash, and it will mean that you are not following lane discipline. So to avoid being charged under section 173, all right, which makes it an offense, it is important that we look at our safety, and at all times when we are driving, we maintain our lane. It is part of lane discipline. Now, let me also make mention here, guys, that as Traffic Desk, we do have a YouTube channel now. So you can subscribe to Traffic Desk Zambia on our YouTube channel, and then you can see this video and a whole lot more road safety videos. It's more like a library. So if you want to refresh your mind on this, maybe overtaking, on how to use the lights, on how to careless driving, impoundable offenses, non-impoundable offenses, all this you can find on our YouTube channel. Just subscribe to Traffic Tech Zambia and you're going to learn quite a whole lot. The whole team, TD1, TD2, and TD3, we are working tirelessly to make sure that we upload as many videos as possible on our YouTube channel for you guys, for your safety. Thank you for joining our road safety chat for today. I'll see you again on another edition.